Well, one of our gCADPlus users is having some difficulty with this design. It will become a design for lighting in the backyard behind a dwelling here. First thing I do is just check. I'm in model space here, and I just want to use the distance tool to make sure that we are drawing full size. So I'll check from one side of the scale bar to another, and we are indeed drawing full size, and that is a line 6 meters long. I'll also note that Polar is on and Ortho's on. It's probably easier not to run both at the same time. With Polar, if I draw a line with Polar on, the advantage is I can draw orthogonal, in other words go up and across, but I can also draw at a 45-degree angle without having to change anything at all. But I digress. Let's remove these lines that we've just thrown in. And what we now want to do is to move to layout space. The difficulty this user is having is the final design is not printing to an A1 sheet. So let's look at a layout space. And here it is. Let's go into the Layouts Manager, and indeed the paper size is set correctly. But what's not correct is if we select any part of the model, can you see that the entities you see here are now in layout space? They've been copied from the model space, the true size, and put in here. Must have been scaled down. In fact, we've lost that scale bar. That wasn't copied across. The line across the back here was some 18 meters across, and see it's now 365 millimeters across. So what's happened here is entities have been copied from model space and pasted into a layout. And those of you who have used layout spaces know that's not the way to work, whether you're using gCADPlus or other CAD software like AutoCAD. So let's create a new layout, and we'll go new, and we'll make sure we set this to A1, and we'll go into landscape view. So this is one going to be called layout 1, and we'll OK it. Now let's go to layout 1, and immediately the whole design appears in what's called a floating viewport. We pick it here. That's the entity property says viewport, and all we need do is we can set a size in that viewport if we want. Its current scale we're saying is not a fixed scale. The view scale is 45. We could set that at 50 to use a common scale if we wanted. That pumps it up just a little. We can even increase the size of the window if we want. I'm not going to bother with putting the title block down here, but we're looking here at let me just pick that floating viewport again, and I'll just make sure it's a fixed scale. So there's a porthole or a view, if you like, of the drawing, and when we print that one, we can print to an A1 sheet, and the resultant PDF will in fact be an A1 sheet. So we can go File and Print. We're going to print paper. We can change from the printer that's attached to my computer at the moment. We'll change to Qt PDF. We'll set the size to ISO A1 in landscape view, and we'll OK that. And now we can take off fit to paper. We'll make that 1:1, and this print will be printed PDF, but it will be 1:1, and the paper size will be an A1 sheet. So let's do that. It won't take a moment for the PDF to be generated, and we'll put it on the desktop for the moment, and we'll call it gCADPlus Drawing and overwrite one that's already there. And then when we go to the desktop, open it up. So Windows key and D goes there. We're looking for a PDF file called gCADPlus drawing. It's this one here. Excuse all the shortcuts and icons that are on the desktop. And here's our drawing, and it is indeed on an A1 sheet. Returning to gCADPlus just for the moment, I'm in that layout sheet. I'm going to use the distance command. Remember that an A1 sheet in landscape view is 841 millimeters across. So if I say what's the distance from one side of the sheet, I can't click onto it, but I can measure in this way. So there we are, there's 837, 841 is the height across. So that indeed is an A1 sheet. And remember, we just printed it 1 equals 1.